Alright guys, so now that you've done multiplying in scientific notation, now we're going to go on to dividing in scientific notation. Dividing is pretty similar to multiplying, but there's just a couple of differences. So with that being said, if you could turn into your book and look for guided practice number 2. Alright, if you're looking for a page number, the page number would be number 62. There we go. Okay, so with dividing in scientific notation, it's just dividing. So when you multiply in scientific notation, you multiply your two numbers. Well, in this case, we're going to divide 8.37 by 2.7. So on your calculators, you'll type in 8.37 divided by 2.7. That should give you 3.1 as your first number. Now remember, we still need to take care of our powers of 10. I'm putting them in red. Alright, so when you're dividing two numbers with the same base, hopefully you remember that you're going to subtract your exponents. So we're going to multiply our 3.1 times 10, which is our base, and then we'll subtract our exponent of 8 minus 3, which is 5. So your answer for your scientific notation division would be 3.1 times 10 to the 5th power. And we can leave 3.1 as it is because it's between the numbers of 1 and 10. Remember that that first number needs to be between 1 and 10. Moving on to problem. This is on page 61C in your book, and you will need to take notes on this because this is something I will check when we do our binder checks. It says the surface area of Lake Superior is 8 times 10 to the 4th square kilometers. So I'm just going to go ahead and write that number down. 8 times 10 to the 4th kilometers. The surface area of Lake Ontario is 8,160 square kilometers. About how many times as great is the area covered by Lake Superior than Lake Ontario? So basically, to figure out how many times greater Lake Superior is than Lake Ontario, we're going to divide Lake Superior's surface area, which is 8 times 10 to the 4th power, by Lake Ontario's, which is 18,160 kilometers. Now, before we can divide in scientific notation, we actually have to put this number right here in scientific notation. So to do that, we know that this is a large number. It's greater than 1. So we're going to move our decimal point 1, 2, 3, 4 places to the left. And so we would write this as 1.816 times 10 to the 4th power. That's how we'd put that in scientific notation. Alright, now to figure out how many times greater Lake Superior is than Lake Ontario, we're going to divide 8 times 10 to the 4th power by 1.816 times 10 to the 4th power. Alright, so to divide this out, we're going to start off with our numbers that are in front. So we'll divide 8 by 8, or 1.816. So to divide 8, the numerator, by 1.816, and you should get about 4.4. We're going to round to the 10th place. Alright, now for our powers of 10, we have the same base, so we're going to subtract our exponents because we're dividing. So that would be 4.4 times 10 to the 0 power, because 4 minus 4 is 0. Now remember that 10 to the 0 power is just 1, so essentially we've got 4.4 times 1, which is the same as 4.4. So I ran out of space here, but I'll just tell you that our answer is that Lake Superior is about 4.4 times greater than Lake Ontario. And we would leave it at that. All right, I want you guys to try this one on your own. We've got 8.5 times 10 to the 11th power divided by 4 times 10 to the 4th power. So pause it, try the video on your own, then I want you to come back and check to see if you did it right. All right, so now that you've tried this on your own, we're going to just write this out as division. I think it's a little bit easier to see when it's written as a fraction. All right, so to start off, we're going to divide 8.5 by 4, which should have given you 2.125. Now, for your powers of 10, you're going to multiply this by 10 to the 11th power minus the 4th. 11 minus 4 is 7, so that would give us 10 to the 7th power. And your answer would be 2.125 times 10 to the 7th power. And you are good if you got that. If not, raise your hand and ask a question. All right, I hope this helped you understand how to multiply and divide scientific notation. Please raise your hand when you are all finished with this and wait for your next assignment.